He's a little bit shorter than me.
There you go.
Look over there. You know those people?
Yeah. When I was 7 years old, my mother and father sat me down in my sister's living with my sister, and they broke the news that my dad was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. I noticed that my dad was having a loss in short-term memory. He complained of back pain near the spine and frequent indigestion. I sensed something was not right. Occasionally, he would forget my name, which scared and confused a 7-year-old me. He was the most loving father I could have ever had. Some of the fondest memories I had with him was calling him on the house phone on his way back from work. We probably talked a little less than 30 minutes, but to me it felt like hours of just him and me, talking mostly about my day. I was almost 8 years old in my first week of sleepaway camp. I could not wait and I stayed up all night until my sister and I got dropped off. I had a great first day, and after dinner, I was sitting on my bunk and my counselor just told him to set me down to the front gate. My mom was there with my Aunt Cindy, and they broke the news that my dad was on hospice. My dad died August 23rd, 2013, precisely 1 week later. Hank has been there from that point on. The first time I participated in Purple Stride, New York, it was a dark and rainy day. My dad was still alive at the time. It was a sad environment for me, but as the years passed, Purple Stride became a place of hope, where I felt I could make a difference. I love raising money for this cause. David's Daredevils has raised over $150,000 in the last 7 years. I've also watched the survival rate increase year by year. Every single survivor makes me want to do more. My first year, there was only one person that had pancreatic cancer. Unfortunately, he did not return the following year. But now we have an entire stage full of survivors that gives me something to strive for. I'm so grateful that you're all here with us. Wage hope.
Yeah, William, way to go. Great job, William.
Hi, my name is Hannah Skelton and I'm 17 years old. I'm so honored to speak with you this morning. Almost 6 years ago, I lost my dad, David Skelton, to pancreatic cancer. Recently at school, I was tasked with writing a personal narrative. The prompt, describe one item that best describes your life. At the time, I sat at my computer, unable to come up with any single item. After a while, I realized my story could not be summed up with one item, but instead 3. My most prized possessions seem to have no correlation without the stories they hold. The story of a pair of earrings, a blanket, and a jar of pennies in an old tequila bottle will bring you through the most important time in my life. Until my 9th year, my life was wildly uneventful. I spent my days with my brother and my parents, and all was good. I got my ears pierced when I was 9 years old. For 6 weeks, I religiously cleaned my ears and twisted the earrings so that they wouldn't get infected. Soon enough, I could finally put the earrings in of my choosing. It is every 9-year-old's dream to be a master accessorizer. My dad came home with a pair of gold-colored dangly earrings with an amethyst heart, my birthstone. The earrings were not wildly expensive and never pictured in Vogue. Nonetheless, I love them, and I wear them every day, rarely taking them off to this day. Less than a year after I received the earrings, my dad got diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. A huge change in my life, and not the kind of change that 10-year-old me was looking forward to welcoming. Still, everything was fine. The surgeon drew a smiley face on my dad's scans, indicating that I had nothing to worry about. 9 months later, he passed away. I was 11. In his final days, hundreds of people came through my house, bringing food, love, and gifts. A woman in my church knitted a prayer blanket for him. Over this plush blue blanket, we sat and prayed for a miracle that never came. I kept the blanket. Something about it comforts me when I'm sad, and gives me a way to be close to my dad all these years later. The blanket rests on a chair in my room, ready for use whenever I need it. The blanket represents a difficult part of my life, but the jar of pennies in an old tequila bottle shows me the light in the dark. Pennies for most is a sign of good luck. Many check to see if it's heads or tails up. Someone once told me that pennies actually come from the angels in heaven. To me, pennies come from my dad. Pennies show up in places and times when my dad would usually be there. School plays, family vacations, sad times, good times, and most recently, a college visit of what might be my dream school. Whatever the event or the time, he is trying to say that he is there with me. My family keeps all of our pennies from heaven in a tequila bottle, because apparently my dad was a master bartender. We keep them all together so that we can see he is always with us, and I can tell you, he's here with us today. 17 years is not that much time, but these 3 items will always represent this chapter in my life. My prized possession collection will continue to grow, and these items will still serve as a reminder of my past and remind me that I can move forward no matter what life throws my way. The Pancreatic Cancer Action Network has given me an outlet to tell my story and lead change. I know that by sharing my story and fundraising together, we are lowering the chance of another child or anyone losing a loved one to this horrible disease. Thank you for joining me on this journey to end pancreatic cancer. Wage hope.